Ayurveda is known as the circadian rhythm healing system. And for those of you who may not know what I'm speaking about with Ayurveda, it's the oldest healing system on the planet. It's said to be around 5,000 years old. It still is just as pertinent today as it was then because it's not dogma, it's not a fad, it's based on universal principles. So it applies to everyone and everything. And I really am really wanting to inspire people to actually embody that we are in these bodies that are, by wiring, we're entrained with the circadian rhythm. Human beings are diurnal, meaning we we have free choice, so we can do other things, but we're wired to sleep at night, for instance, and be awake during the day, whereas some animals, say an owl is a nocturnal, or a bat is nocturnal, and they are awake at night and sleep during the day. And what I really want to emphasize is we're not doing these things just to say that we're doing them, or because it's something that someone else is doing. I really would love to help people understand that everything in life is better when you feel better, and you feel better when you are treating your body and your mind in a way that is life supportive and and really and strengthening, actually anti-aging this day and age, because there's so much out there. Knowledge has really become devalued in the sense that you can just push a button now on your device, and with AI and all the different search engines, you can get your hands on a lot of knowledge that really wasn't possible not that long ago. So what I really want to emphasize here is the importance of experience and wisdom, because knowledge or information, I say this a lot, but that does not lead to transformation if you are not really taking it in as a practice, as a way of life. And so my passion and what I nerd out on is health and wellness, and not just, oh, I want to look good. Actually, I went through a lot of health trauma, and that was my life's necessity to put me on my path. And I can actually speak from experience, not just knowledge that I've learned from many, many teachers over 20 years. And I am very knowledgeable about a lot of topics to do with natural health. But more important is I do have a discernment and a wisdom. I can sift through a lot of things, and what I offer is a blending of, or an integration, I should say, of bringing the ancient wisdom. That's always where I go back to, because it just doesn't change. There's so many fads. It's so confusing with the amount of knowledge out there on, people are really confused on what to eat. It's confusing out there. I mean, you've got everyone swearing that a carnivore diet is the answer, or a vegan diet is the answer, or a strict Ayurvedic diet, at least in the lens of what people think that looks like. Ayurveda is actually not so moralistic. It's more about really finding out what works for you. But there's lots of Ayurvedic cookbooks, and they tend to be much more vegetarian, not vegan, but vegetarian. So it's like confusing. And so what I really like to do is take that out and really it's so good for our nervous systems if we can just sort of relax about maybe not having to do one particular diet. You know, when you're going in on fixing something, you know, different regimens may apply, but you know, I think in the big picture, we want to become intuitive eaters. So this is once again um, why these practices are so important, because you don't necessarily have that, you know, and you know, you're very bombarded with what's the best thing to do. So bringing us back to the Ayurvedic wisdom, which is truly working on your own inner technology. So it's, you know, we've got these great devices. I'm using one right now to do this. So it's not about black and white. It's about how we use things. And the danger with the technologies is not all of us, but many of us, and certainly in the younger generations, we do not develop the supreme inner technology that is beyond any device, and it is encoded with your soul purpose, which is different from mine, and we're all unique. So, so I like to really start in really doable ways, like rather than giving a bunch of different complicated practices, I like to just talk about, I really love kind of starting and developing an awareness and an entrainment with the rhythms of nature. So in these ancient wisdom traditions, they knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that that to have a strong foundation for strong immunity. Why do you want that? So that you can live wonderfully in this life. It is about optimizing your experience in this life. And so it really starts with habits, with daily habits, with seasonal habits, with certain age bracket habits. So habits are really important. Right now, we are well, depending on the transitional season, so either in spring or in fall, in Ayurveda, these are two very important natural rhythms that as our outer environment is changing, so must we. And I'm telling you, if you really do this and really pause and just take a few weeks to just to lighten up, what you're allowing is for your body to let go of the previous season so that you may enter the upcoming season with a stronger immunity, with a body with that is ready for what our outer environment is. So we're going from, you can be going from winter, and then spring is generally considered like sort of a heavier, muddier season, into summer, which is a dry, hot season. So these are very different energies. And we are a microcosm of the macrocosm. And whether you think it affects you or not, I am telling you, it definitely affects you. It affects your biology. It affects, you know, it affects your mental and emotional world. So it's really important to just do what's doable as you build on it. So for instance, I do offer these cleanses. I call them the Body Bliss Cleanse. And what I really love to do is not do a kit cleanse. I am not saying you must eat in, you know, in this particular way exactly like everyone else. So what I have it designed as, the first week is I encourage people, I give a lot of information once you're in my cleanse. I've got different videos that I've made, short videos, so that you can just start educating yourself. But it's what I call the ease in week. So it's really nothing too dramatic, unless you're like binging on stuff. But you know, what I say is eat what you enjoy, but clean out the things that are going to be a burden to your system. So that would be processed foods, sugars, alcohol. You know, I think everybody can take a break from these kind of things, and it's not going to be like a water fast or something like that. You know, so it's really about just, you know, taking out the usual offenders, and then tuning into yourself, like what does my body, my mind need? And so, you know, we include everything. We include working on your mental space. You know, talk about your environment in your home and your office, and we talk about relationships. You know, there can be cleansing in all of these areas. And but what we're doing is we're tuning in with ourselves. That's what I really want to help people do, is use information that I'm sharing, but use it for you, and see what serves most. So in my cleanses, some people do like to go all in, and they might want to do a lot of juicing, maybe even a juice fast, 24 hours, 3 days, whatever. You know, it's what you can do. Some people might just be where you want to meet yourself where you are, and you might just want to start like getting alcohol out of your life from being such something that you are really relying on. You know, we want to make everything a choice. So maybe you're just going to really focus on eating healthy. That's okay. So we can really have the whole gamut of, you know, someone who might want to fast to someone who might just want to, you know, not stress their nervous systems. I always tell the story that one time, after a lot of stress in my life, and I was already kind of living on a cleanse. But I still honored the seasonal change as a cleanse, and I actually chose to do a house cleanse, continuing to eat really healthy, but I did a house cleanse. It was one of the best cleanses I've had. So, what I'm encouraging on my cleanses is to start cultivating and getting in touch with your own innate inner wisdom, and, you know, lesson devices. Some people, I've had people just kind of do, you know, what's doable. Most of us, not all of us, but, you know, if you're working, a lot of us need our devices for that. But you can definitely like take a complete social media break, or just, you know, what you want to do is challenge yourself and find yourself. So I will end with, um, you know, you surprise yourself in the best of ways when you're in a group that is led by someone who offers wisdom and knowledge, such as myself. It's proven that you actually will get better results when you're in a group that is safe. That's something that's very important. But you sometimes make big breakthroughs that you weren't even thinking about. So years ago, when I was studying with one of my Ayurvedic teachers, I had already myself become a certified teacher, but I was learning a different certification from her with Ayurveda. And so we were committing to 10 weeks of habits, of Ayurvedic habits, what are the most important ones to entrain with to optimize your life. And the teacher just kind of threw out there at the last minute to us, and I was actually acting as a support teacher for some new people coming into her course, but participating in it as well for my certification. And she said, just don't drink wine. Like so many women, you know, I'm super healthy, but yeah, I drink wine every day. I mean, there's so many of us who were like so healthy, and we're like, oh, I can't do that. But I was like, you know what? How can I not do that? And so I gave up. And, you know, it was just not a lot of wine. I certainly wasn't getting drunk or even feeling buzzed, but I loved having wine at the end of the day with dinner. And I gave it up for the 10 weeks. I did it. When I really set my mind to do something, I have never gone back to that habit. Never. So it's like such a choice. And I'm telling you, I feel so much better for it. I had no idea that even just that what I was having was disruptive to my sleep, hard on my liver. And so no, I'm not a complete teetotaler, but I rarely even desire to, certainly not on a daily basis, to drink wine. So you can have these wonderful breakthroughs that come from within. They're like you're tuning into your inner guidance, which is always for you when you can really get aligned with that. So I am really grateful for the people who choose to come in and work with me. It gives me great joy to actually help people tune in, to do it in a welcoming environment, non-shaming environment. You know, everybody's got different start points. Everybody's got different pain points. And so again, that first week, we want to tune into that, dive deep in that middle week, load it with some self-care, and then we have an ease out week, and that's, we're kind of like, you know, not focusing if we cheated or what, if we fell off or whatever, but we're focusing on what we did do. We're literally harvesting from the goods, from the seeds that we did sow, and we take them as a way to look forward to whatever what in the future will come to fruition for this investment. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you're interested in working with me, I would be overjoyed to have a chat with you. So please talk to me. If you're already in my group, let this be an inspiration to really anchor you in as, you know, good for you for choosing yourself and being in a tribe of people who want to be in this healthful spiral up together. All right, namaste.